Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Today we're discussing a 4th series FP Journe Tourbillon Souverain. This is the original Tourbillon Remontoir model. So 38 millimeters in rose gold. This includes a factory rose gold bracelet to match and a white gold dial. So the watch is 38 millimeters in diameter, a discontinued size. It's 9.3 millimeters thick. From lug tip to lug tip, it's 45 millimeters, and if we include the solid end links to the bracelet, the total distance is 52.7 millimeters across the wrist, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I'll throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you get a good sense of its size. It does wear far larger on the bracelet, of course, the bracelet extending the watch on each side. The standard watch on a strap would wear on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, but on the bracelet, I'm going to recommend this for a wrist of at least 15 centimeters circumference. Taking a quick look, it is very low with a domed bezel. It'll slide easily underneath a dress cuff, and it's nicely counterweighted. It's got a balance to it. With the bracelet, it's easier to wear the watch loose without any danger of it capsizing or hula hooping. The counterweight of the bracelet and the clasp keeps it steady. It's a 5-link design, all of high polish. You can see that in profile it uses removable links fixed by screws. The clasp is a double deployant with a friction fit snap shut system. You can see how that works. It is a sequential close with the Journe logo on the top. Popping it open so you could see the inside. These clasps have changed quite a bit over time, so internally some of the marks have changed and some of the systems used to join them to the case have changed over time, so I always like to chart those changes by featuring those particular components such as the end links in these videos. Now the case is simple, integrated lugs that turn down almost 90 degrees from the case band. We have the knurled rim double dimple Journe crown, a domed bezel, a mid case and high polish like the bezel and the case back. The mid case is defined by the flanges of the case back and the bezel. The dial is made of white gold. You can see that easily. We have polished steel bezel framing the minutes and the hours. You can see that we have small dial side bolts, so the combination of the flat remontoir cock, the big numbers on the power reserve scale, and the little bolts mark this as a Series 4. Regardless, every tourbillon remontoir is a hugely collectible watch and an important document from the earliest days of the modern era's most important independent watchmaker. Now, what appears to be some sort of a jumping seconds display is actually the dial side facet of the remontoir constant force device, which jumps via a second escapement once every second. So for 28 of this watch's 42-hour power reserve, this watch will run with constant force to the escapement and thus constant amplitude to the balance. So you just wind it at the same time every day and you get constant balance amplitude, which is great for regular timekeeping. It's a 6-position adjusted balance with a free sprung architecture for toughness and precision. All the adjustments done using masses on the rim, and it uses an overcoil hairspring, so it has even more resistance to positional or gravitational timing deviation. Now the power reserve indicator runs backward like most Journe watches labeled chronometric or regarded as a chronometer. So 0 means 0 hours since fully wound. Like an old marine chronometer, it was important to wind those 24 hours apart, exactly 24 hours apart. So you needed to know how many hours since the last winding, not how much time remaining till it stops. It is a filigree style wire cage for the tourbillon. This is a 1-minute tourbillon beating away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. You can see both the remontoir cock and the half bridge for the tourbillon are black polished, and impressively, the half bridge for the tourbillon is fully rounded as well. All the screw heads are black polished with chamfered slots in circumference, and you could see engine turning on the base plate of the watch below the tourbillon cage. Now here's what's discontinued. The model is discontinued. The 38 millimeter case is discontinued. These brass movements, these rhodium plated brass movements, were discontinued in mid-2004. And these French-made Eleanor cases were discontinued after about mid-2008 when Journe bought the company and moved it to Geneva. That's why you wind up with double hallmarks and this maker's mark of Eleanor, this large diamond on the case back. So you have both French and Swiss hallmarks here. That's because the case was made in France and then assembled as a watch in Switzerland. On the reverse side, you can see the linear spring for the remontoir constant force device. You can see solarization on the crown wheel core, solarization on the ratchet wheel, and extended patented pocket watch-like click spring. This movement caliber 1498. 14 is the size in French lean. 1998 is the year design on the movement started. You can see it's a 25 jewel movement, and you can also see another feature that was phased out. This one phased out in mid-2005. See how it says 01 on the case back? That's the year the case itself was made. They didn't label case year of manufacture after about mid-2005. An important foundational watch from a critical modern independent brand, this 30-meter water-resistant Tourbillon Souverain Tourbillon Remontoir 4th Series can be yours. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing details.